Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal have reached an agreement with Sporting Lisbon on the fee for Viktor Gyokerez. Andre Bata has been in Portugal trying to get a deal done, and the last couple of hours we've had a round of talks that have just confirmed an 80 million euro deal is now done for Viktor Gyokerez. The player will now be free to do his medicals and complete every criteria to join Arsenal. Andre Bata, well done. This is a very, very good job that you have actually done. Mikel Arteta obviously pushing for a very quick resolution has also been a very, very key factor for this deal getting done as early as possible. ESPN are reporting that there is very positive talks between the three parties, Arsenal, Eberechi Eze and Crystal Palace, on a deal that could see Arsenal pay 20 million euros across 3 installments. Arsenal are very optimistic they can sign Madueke, Gyokerez and Eze without a big summer sale. Could it be possible? Are we going to do it? We'll be talking about that as well. And then people are asking me, Cossy, aren't we having any preseason games this summer? I'm sorry, I've been wrapped up into transfers. I'm also going to share Arsenal's preseason calendar. We're going to be talking about the likes of AC Milan, the likes of Newcastle. What are Arsenal really going to play, and how important are the games that we are actually going to be facing this preseason? So why don't you do me a favor? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into the Viktor Gyokerez and Eberechi Eze updates, I just want to update you on Arsenal's preseason calendar, which is pretty easy. On the 23rd of July, that is this month, it's about like 13 days away, we shall play AC Milan, and that is going to be in Asia. You can see the time. It's a little bit early. That is 14:30, very early time. You'll be able to watch these games. Then Arsenal will play Newcastle in Asia as well at 14:30, and then we shall play Tottenham Hotspur in Asia as well at 14:30. It's going to be our first time playing Thomas Frank as a Tottenham manager, but I think these are very good games. AC Milan is a good team, especially in terms of revenue for the club. It's a big game. It's going to have a lot of viewership. Newcastle and Tottenham are Premier League opponents that are going to give us enough testing of the muscle. Then after that, on the 6th of August, Arsenal will take on Villarreal, and then the last game of preseason on the 9th of August, we shall take on Athletic Club. So, if you're actually angry with Nico Williams, it is our chance to get revenge on Nico Williams. It's a very big chance for Arsenal to get a revenge on Nico Williams. He made us wait for 18 months, and he decided to sign a 10-year deal. We wait for him in this preseason. He will tell us why he did that. But let's get into the transfer stories. Obviously, the big story of the day is Arsenal now have found an agreement with Sporting Lisbon on the final fee of the player, that is Viktor Gyokerez. A few things are being detailed out as we speak, but by the end of today or tomorrow, Viktor Gyokerez will be an Arsenal player. Now, the structure is yet to be confirmed, but we have confirmed the final fee, we have confirmed the price. It is gonna be 80 million euros. We were told yesterday that Arsenal wanted to pay 60 million euros, in terms of, not 60 million euros really, but Arsenal wanted to pay 60 million euros guaranteed and 20 million in add-ons, right? And then Sporting was saying give us 70 million euros guaranteed and 10 million euros in add-ons. So both clubs have come to a consensus that the overall package, the overall deal, is going to cost 80 million euros. Now, if we convert that into pounds, it is going to be around 69 million pounds or 70 million pounds. Very close to 68, 67 million pounds. And that is what Arsenal always wanted to pay for a centre forward. And when you compare that to what RB Leipzig were actually asking for, they were asking for 90 million euros in terms of kind of fixed payments, and then the deal rising to 100 million euros. And they refused to negotiate their asking price. They refused to negotiate their fixed fee, their fixed base, until Arsenal finally walked away. Sorry about that. We are working with a shitty company this side, with electricity. I'm sorry about that. But if you think about the deal, 80 million euros, right? And again, we were told this by ESPN that Arsenal have this money and they can spend it without, without selling They don't need to sell. They have that money for any centre forward. They're gonna spend 80 million euros. So 80 million euros. That is 70 million euros guaranteed. That is what Arsenal wanted to pay, and then 10 million euros in add-ons. I think it's a fair deal. I think it's a very, very good deal, considering what strikers and forward players are going for these days. Like Hugo Ekitike, this Mia Hugo Ekitike, very talented guy, but Hugo Ekitike for 100 million euros, Shesko for 100 million euros, Julian Alvarez closer to 100 million. Like, Arsenal have got a very, very good deal. And Andre Bata, as we understand by Sami Makpo, he has reported that Andre Bata has been in Portugal. He flew to Portugal a couple of days ago and has been trying to grind out a deal until the final moment. Now, this is due to pressure from Mikel Arteta. Not really pressure, but Mikel Arteta has been pushing for a swift resolution. And he was saying, and his point is very clear. He's been saying, I am having to work with a new squad. Really, I'm going to have like 8 new signings. And one of the most important positions, I'm having a new center forward. I'm having a new midfield. Can you get me my signings like really done as quickly as possible? And yes, it's been confirmed that Viktor Gyokerez is now going to be an Arsenal player, and he will be able to join us in preseason as we take on AC Milan, Tottenham, and Newcastle earlier this month before we progress into August, where we play Villarreal and Athletic Club. Now, a new round of talks happened last night, and that is what actually broke the water. That is why we are getting this agreement this morning. A new round of talks was scheduled for last night, and the two clubs came out with a very, very good positive agreement. Now, the few things that are left should be ironed out very, very quickly. They're very, very small details. And according to Ghana Blog, all parties involved in the deal now believe that Gyokerez has already packed his bags, and he's right to pack his bags because a very positive outcome is going to be coming very soon. A very positive conclusion is coming very soon on this deal. So Mikel Arteta gets his man. Gyokerez gets the striker deal. Gets the deal and the move that he always wanted. And Sporting, for me, what a club, by the way. I've got to give them their flowers as well, because Sporting refused to be bullied by any club. They said 70 million euros. He is not leaving. And at some point in time, Arsenal realized, if we are not going to get Shesko for 100 million euros, we better get this guy for like 80 million euros. The good thing that the bigger part of that is actually add-ons, right? Now, today's been reported as well that Arsenal tried whatever they could to get the Benjamin Sesko deal done, and the deal failed, right? We did whatever we could. We waited and waited and waited for Benjamin Sesko. Right from June, Arsenal thought that RB Leipzig would actually soften in their path and soften in their resolve to get them the deal for Benjamin Sesko. But Leipzig said, no, we are not softening. We are not breaking. This is a player that will go to a special club, and this is a player that is going to play under a special manager. And I'm having a thought that maybe Liverpool don't go for Hugo Ekitike. Maybe Liverpool are going to go for Benjamin Sesko, because Liverpool are trying so hard to sell Darwin Núñez for 70 million euros. And what that tells you is that they're trying to raise money to buy a sensible striker. That could be Ekitike, but that could be Sesko. Sesko, for me, will become cheaper, right? He will become cheaper. With Arsenal now out of the way, Arsenal have been the most desperate team for a centre forward. We've been the team that is so glued onto signing a centre forward, and the whole world knew. Like, everyone knew Arsenal really needed a centre forward, right? But now Arsenal out of the way, clubs that have strikers and strikers are wanting to leave, it's just going to be about can we find a move for you? Can we find any deal? Can we find any club that is willing to pay the money that any money that they actually have? So Benjamin Sesko, in my opinion, could move to the Premier League still, but it could be to Liverpool. But for me, I'm happy with Viktor Gyokerez. He's going to have less wages. He's costing a lesser transfer fee. He's bringing, a massive monster mentality, and it's also bringing chunks of experience. This guy has been in front of goal more times than Šeško, and he has finished successfully more times than Šeško. Now, this is not me hating on Šeško. This is not me saying that if Šeško goes to another club, he won't be a success. He will be a success. But at the moment, right at this moment, for me, Gyokerez is always the sensible transfer for Arsenal. Now, there is positive talks between Eze, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal. The three parties believe that a deal will be done for the young, not really young, for the 27-year-old international, English international Eberechi Eze, to move to Arsenal. Now, what Arsenal want to do, and again, this is brilliant. What Arsenal want to do, they want to explore that release clause, but they also want to make sure that they pay less than the release clause, but pay in installments. So what Arsenal is saying is that, can we pay about 20 million euros for Eberechi Eze across 3 installments? Basically, what that means is that Arsenal want to pay 60 million euros for the player, but across 3 installments, they want to pay this money in installments, right? They want to pay this money in installments, right? So 3 installments, 20 million euros, a bit of what we did with Martin Zubimendi, because again, that allows you to go out there and do other deals. That allows you to go out there and complete other deals, because you'll have the cash. So if you pay the release clause, what happens is you're paying like 60 million or 40 million upfront, or 45. But if you're paying 20 million per year, let's say, it means that Arsenal could pay 20 million to Crystal Palace in 3 years or in 2 years, right? So that means they just pay 20 million this summer and you move on and you go and do other deals, because Arsenal are very, very busy. ESPN have said that Arsenal are hoping to sign Madueke and Gyokerez and Eze without a big sell. Now, is this possible? I mean, it is possible, because we've been reporting about the staggering amount of money that Arsenal could have. But Eze for 60 million, Gyokerez for that is 60 million pounds, right? Gyokerez for 68 million pounds, and then Madueke for 50 million euros. That is like 35 million pounds, 37, right? Okay, let's say 38. 38? Yeah, let's say 37 million pounds, right? So Eze, Madueke, and Gyokerez could cost in total 128, 158, 165. So they could cost in total 165, and this is without the signing of Christian Mosquera, right? So if we add that is 165. If we add the signing of Christian Mosquera, which Arsenal want to do for about 15 million, then that takes the spending to 180 million. 180 million, if you add the 100 million Arsenal have already spent, or the 80 million actually, if you add the 80 million that Arsenal have actually spent already, that takes the spending to 260 million. So Arsenal could wrap these deals up for about 260 million, and that is without player sales. If you add player sales, the thing becomes even better. So I think it's possible. I think it's gonna depend on the structuring of the Eze and Madueke deals. Now, maybe the Madueke deal is because his money is financial oriented rather than the player himself. But again, even if the Madueke deal is financial, is like financial related, we could have got like Igor Paxiao at a cheaper price, in my opinion. We could have got like Noah Lang to back up Saka at a cheaper price. I have seen that Noah Lang has moved to, where did he go? Did he go to Napoli? I think he went to Napoli for 23 million euros. Like, if you want competition for Saka, Noah Lang is definitely one player. Or Edon Zagrova. His contract is running down. Edon Zagrova He could cost 20 million euros. There is this boy at Leon Malik. He could cost like 20 million euros. Again, like the Madueke deal still doesn't make any sense for me. But what Arsenal planning is, can we sign these players on kind of a budget, right? And make sure that we don't have to sell big, right? But we can get the players we need. And then I think what Arsenal trying to plan here is that if we need to sell one of the big names, then definitely we are going for Rodrigo. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We have a bomber from David Onstein. It's coming up very shortly.